Healthy Rebel Radio is sponsored by the Healthy Rebel app. 300 plus secretly healthy, delicious, mouth-watering dessert and treat recipes made with all-natural, whole food ingredients. Now available for download on the App Store and Google Play. Find out more details at healthyrebel.com.
Welcome to Healthy Rebel Radio. I'm your host, Dr. David Dizer. I'm here with my Damien Health Healthy Rebel co-founder, Amy Layne. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
We've got a nutrition conversation to have today. Love nutrition conversations,
always,
especially with you.
We are constantly having nutrition conversations.
We are.
I know it is what we do for a living, but it's also our passion. We discuss it a lot in our pastime, but not only when we're working.
Yeah, no. Just randomly sitting around talking about nutrition.
It's really interesting. And it's an always evolving conversation. The more we learn, the more studies come out.
Oh, definitely. I mean, for both of us, everyone should know, Amy has basically been a strict vegan her entire life.
Not purposely. So I did fall off at times. I started out as naturally as a young person, a vegetarian. I didn't know it was called a vegetarian. I just didn't enjoy eating meat. Then it slowly evolved into eating no animal products whatsoever, and then I kind of bought into the whole carbs and fruit are bad thing for a little bit and added some dairy back into my life, and then I remembered reality about 10 years ago, and I've been pretty much on the vegan train ever since. That's why on the blog, like, sometimes people will be like, wait a second, there's dairy in this recipe. Yeah, I've been blogging for almost 10 years, and 10 years ago, I ate some dairy, and it was a real slip up for me.
Right.
It led me down a bad path. It really, bloating, acne, I think added to my whole adrenal fatigue profile. Anyway, it was a negative thing. And being vegan, I always feel like I have to say with the caveat, being vegan for me is all about being kind to my body, to myself, to my temple, to the environment, to animals, and to other people. So I'm not one of those vegans that go around and, attack people where they're at for eating meat. Now, I am one of those people that I do out loud say that I think, like, game hunting is terrible, and, like, aquariums having whales and that type of stuff. I will say that, but I don't think being mean to other people or nitpicking is the way to, I have a whole episode why being a mean vegan is insane if you want to listen to it, and my experience with people just being crazy mean about our eating preferences. But anyway, I think that being vegan is awesome.
It's also not it's not the core of your recommendation for weight loss.
Absolutely not. I meet people wherever they're at. So in my programs, I have options for people that eat meat, options for people that just are vegetarian, options for people that, just eat fish, or people that want to test out vegan. Like, I don't judge anybody, and I meet everybody where they're at. It's, I'm not at any time, in week 6 am I like, okay, now we're going I don't trick anybody. Of course, I push vegetables, and everybody should know that. You're never going to get away from that with me. But, yeah, I don't think that being vegan is the only way to lose weight. That's for sure. And
also as a way of eating, in terms of the category of, it's not a weight loss diet. It's not a weight loss way of eating. You can lose weight if you eat that way, and you're healthier than you previously were.
100%. So here's the thing that's been a thorn in my side lately.
Tell me about your thorn.
When vegan becomes like a hip and cool thing to do, it's always a positive thing. It's always positive because it's popular. It becomes like the it thing, and some people are like, oh, it's not a fad. Well, who cares? Like, if Beyonce goes vegan for 3 weeks, it shines a light on the fundamental aspects of being vegan that can wake a lot of people up.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So no matter what, it's awesome. It's like, we have to just take the good from that. So who cares if people are acting like it's a trend, right? So I don't attack anybody for acting trendy about it. But there's a little slice I have to say in there that bothers me about it. I love that it brings awareness to, reducing our carbon footprint, to what I think is the natural way our bodies can heal and work to their highest potential, and also obviously being kind to animals and the earth. The one thing that really bothers me is lately I see these people with large followings publicly saying they're going vegan, and then they just eat junk food, vegan food. And I see where this goes. I've seen it before, and I can see where it's going to go. And it really bothers me. So just to give you an example of what I mean by this is they, do the big public declaration, I'm going vegan. Great. But then they just start, they already had a somewhat unhealthy diet, and then they just start taking out the meat and adding in like fake vegan food. So say like they usually have like a egg McMuffin for breakfast. They'll just have like a tofu and faux bacon white egg McMuffin thing. Yeah. I see a lot of like creamy white pasta dishes with vegan cheese and cream cheese, and then the fried faux chicken and the fried faux whatever, and everything is like this highly processed crap vegan food, which is there for occasional eating.
Yeah, we eat it sometimes.
Once in a while.
It's super rare, but we do.
But the whole point is I see where it's going to go. They're not eating the fundamentals, high vegetables, high fruit, high healthy carb foods. They're eating everything is processed. A lot of breads, a lot of wraps, just junk. And then they're calling it a vegan diet, which you can say it is vegan. There's no animal products, but it's called what I call, or when I was in school, it was called like a pudding vegetarian. It's just basically like a junk food vegan diet. You're not eating healthy. So what's going to happen here is this person's not going to feel well. They're probably going to become constipated, and they're definitely not going to lose weight. Mm-hmm. And then what's going to happen is they're going to declare vegan doesn't work for me.
Right.
And everybody that watches them is going to be like, well, I saw them do vegan. They're not healthy. They're not vibrant. Their skin isn't clear. They didn't become more...
They're also going to be tired and cranky and all the
probably
things
have some hormonal disruption because of eating all this high-processed faux stuff that's just not even real food.
It's mostly wheat gluten.
Yeah.
Is the protein. It's wheat gluten mostly is what they make it with, and then the rest is just soy and then additives
and oils, and it makes me sad because these people have they do understand in the way that they make money that they have such power with influence, but these things that I think are serious, because I take especially women's health very seriously, and I feel that I just feel like it's a fundamental, like it's a staple in life that so many women are missing, that causes so many issues in their life, that if they just took the time to heal and erect this pillar in their life, everything else would be easier. Yeah. And that was true for me. So when I see these people that I feel are leading people down through their own ignorance. Like, I don't think it's like a devious act.
Totally.
So I don't think anybody that is
We're
vegan
so used to eating in a way that's easy.
Right, and I don't think that we should go and attack this person. It's just like, I wish someone could gently say to them, hey, like, yes, the classification is vegan, but vegan isn't synonymous with healthy. And the way you're doing this isn't going to lead to anything. This isn't healthy. This isn't like what you see these vegans with the long, shiny hair and the energy and the skin and look younger.
Well, if we're looking at the China study, so the biggest study ever in nutrition showed that the healthiest diet of all time is vegetarian diet. Mm-hmm. These people were not eating those types of processed foods.
No.
At all. It's vegetarian diet that was based on whole foods and clean
I'm not
eating.
saying you can never have them, but if you're having like this diet that I see and every meal has something processed, you're doing it wrong. End of story. It should just be high fruits and vegetables and high unprocessed carbs.
Yeah, not even raw, like
nuts and seeds.
We're talking about home cooked meals.
Yes, but like instead of like a creamy pasta dish, a spaghetti squash for the pasta, a tomato base, and like if you're going to use a little cream, instead of using like the fake tofu cream cheese, using like a dollop of coconut cream. That's really great. Like, I'm not saying that you can't have any of this stuff.
It doesn't have to be gross.
But in the same way that you wouldn't eat junk food to lose weight or to be healthy eating meat,
Right.
like I just feel like people kind of lose their perception a bit, because you wouldn't have like fettuccine alfredo for lunch and like fried chicken at night and like a breakfast sandwich while eating meat and think, I'm gonna get fit today.
No.
Like I'm losing weight. But somehow when people like switch those into the vegan choices, they think magically they're gonna lose weight.
Right.
And I do blame a little bit the book Skinny Bitch that was so
Okay.
popular.
Yeah.
And again, with Skinny Bitch, it raised the popularity of vegetarian eating, so that's great. But with that, they really taught everyone just to switch out
Right.
the crap you like to eat with the crap, and you'll lose weight, which just isn't true.
No, right. Okay.
So that's my spiel on that.
Yes, right.
I just, and the only
I mean,
reason I'm even saying it is I'm not picking on a person. I'm using this person's story as an example.
Yeah.
That I just want everybody to have a fair shot and give being vegan a fair shot, because if you don't do it right,
yeah.
you're not going to get the results and you're not going to feel great. And I just hate people. I hate for myself the times that I've, done things. I spent 10 years just doing stuff the wrong way, and I wasted time and energy and emotional and money, and like I'm so mad at myself for wasting the time, and I wish I just did it right in the beginning, and I wish I had someone to tell me the truth.
Well, I think that's why you speak out so much about it. I think in terms of talking about using a vegan diet in weight loss, like this person may be speaking, and actually doing it properly, one of my favorite recommendations is to start with just a couple days a week. And then when you're doing a couple days a week, I mean, you can go all in. It's just, it can be hard for people.
Definitely. And like, I'm not pressuring people either. And that's the other thing. Like, if you want guidance of how to eat a healthy vegan diet, the 21-day vegan cleanse is literally dirt cheap. There's lots of suggestions in there of what to eat, when to eat. And, if you're not ready to do it for 3 weeks straight, do it on Mondays.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to, and you have it forever.
Like,
it's not
especially
like
if you're going to do it right. If you're going to do home-cooked, salads and soups and smoothies and simple things that are just so incredibly good for you and give you lots of energy and provide tons and tons of nutrients. If you're going to do it right, starting with 1 day is easy.
It's super easy, and plus you're going to feel so good that you're going to want to keep going. But anyway.
Let's go through the pros and cons. So, I mean, on this side of things, there are some cons that you have to keep in mind.
There's no cons. But let's hear it.
The best part about this is the pros far outweigh the cons.
There's no cons, but go ahead.
Potentially, of course, everyone knows with a vegan diet, if it's strict vegan, not vegetarian, if you're vegan, B12 deficiency is the only thing you have to watch out for.
Definitely, but I just want to say, even in saying that, it's extremely misleading to make it sound like just vegans are B12 deficient.
Oh my
yes,
gosh,
we don't,
for sure.
It's harder for us to naturally get B12, but there are a ton of people that eat meat and a ton of meat that are B12 deficient in society today, because it's not like our meat supply is great.
No, and I mean, there's absorption issues and decreased absorption as we age, and then there's also other sorts of issues that can cause B12 to be lower.
So I personally think that everybody, well, I won't say everybody.
It doesn't hurt, because if you don't need it, you can pee it out.
Right, but I will say I think that it would be healthy for a lot of people to be taking like a complex, either multivitamin with B vitamins or just like a B complex.
I think it would be healthy for a lot of people to get their B12 levels checked more often than what's done. Because I see it come back quite low very often. People with neuropathy, nerve issues, people with extremely low energy, low cortisol output, a whole bunch of things.
And the other
depression.
And the other thing is too, if you just have this steady low feel, and say it is B12, it's the easiest fix. Like, I remember the first time that I got a B12 shot. Mm-hmm. Like, it won't give you this.
I remember the first time you got one too.
I felt like I was high.
Yeah, you did.
Because I was so deficient, and then I was so like replenished, and I was like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to naturally feel. So I obviously don't feel like that anymore, because this is my baseline. And you won't get the high if you don't need it.
No.
But if you need it, and you've just got this, and it's so funny because I say to Dave, I ask him to recognize in me when I'm low, because I have a hard time recognizing myself, and it will be kind of like a dull, like my zhuzh is gone.
Yeah, you're dragging through the mud. There's 3 things to look for initially when you're dragging through the mud. You have to have B12, iron, and vitamin D tested. Mm-hmm. You need to know, in terms of iron, I'm talking storage iron, ferritin. In British Columbia now, they've reduced their testing of vitamin D because they're just saying everyone should just take it. It's cheaper for the system if everyone just starts doing it because it's coming back low so frequently.
Yeah.
But B12, iron, and vitamin D, those need to be tested if you're dragging through the mud. That first time you had it, my gosh.
I'll never forget it.
That was so good. So the other thing, and I don't know where you stand on this, we haven't had this conversation.
Great, let's test it.
Iron deficiency. So in vegans, we have to, like, I wrote a post about this a while ago about vegetarian sources of iron, but we have to stay on top of our iron levels. But it's so easy to test. It's like $20 private pay. You can go to your family doc and get it for free.
And it's so easy to have appropriate iron levels as a vegan. I really think it is.
Well,
as long as you're eating a rich bean, carnivorous vegetable, spinach, greens, like, it's very easy.
Not only that, but most like, say you're doing brown rice pasta or use some of these whole grain type foods that may be substitutes for your conventional foods. A lot of them are fortified.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, and if you are low and there's been a chronic issue, it doesn't mean you don't need to be. You don't have to quit being vegan. It's really easy to take and bring your levels up.
You just have to adapt to the way you eat, just as you would.
But sometimes you have to work with someone.
No, a lot of the times you have to work with someone. A lot of the times, like, it's just that little thing with me where I get my blinders on and I'm so right in front of myself that if I don't go to you as my naturopath and get you to do certain testing or to recognize certain things in me, like talk things out, I can't. It's the same way as me with coaching people. It's so funny because I'll have people that, like, email me and be like, I am a naturopath. I shouldn't need you, whatever. But it's like, especially people like us that are A-type personalities and people that we're helping other people all the time. We're sifting through other people's information and, that absorbs all our brain power. That at the end of the day, I don't have time to look at my own stuff.
Yeah, it's called working memory. I'm obsessed with this concept. It comes back to this cooking for yourself. Once it feels good, once your energy's up and you're not dragging through the mud any longer and you're eating vegan, you're doing all this, proper prep and your food looks great, then it starts to slip off really quickly because you're feeling so good and you revert back to things that are easier because now you have energy to work harder and do more and be more for others.
What's that old concept of I'm going to diet till I get this certain body,
That's
then
right.
I'm going to eat cake?
Oh, I can't wait to eat cake because I'll be so thin.
Yeah, no. That's not how life works.
No, it doesn't go like that.
But anyway, I don't want to make this seem like it's a rant of any
It's
sort.
time for the pros.
Okay, yeah.
The pros. It's the healthiest diet in the whole entire world.
Yeah.
If we're talking, we can mix together vegetarian and veganism here. This category of eating reduces the risk of heart disease. It reduces obesity. It reduces diabetes, type 2 diabetes. It reduces the cancer. The chronic diseases are reduced. The ways, if you make it to 40, 45 years old, the ways you're going to die, the likelihood of that is reduced if you eat in this way.
And I mean, that's the heavy hitter right there. And then there's all the fluff stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
The weight loss.
I'm into the fluff.
But sometimes you have to. I was very motivated by selfish, fluffy.
Why not?
And then, as I got more into it, I was like, became more passionate about the heavy stuff. But, I wanted clear skin. I wanted a tight little waist. I wanted to be consistently lean and light. I wanted more energy. I wanted my brain fog to go away. I wanted longer, healthier hair. I wanted clear skin. I wanted to look younger. I wanted my skin to have more elasticity. You want to talk about not having stretch marks during pregnancy. The number one thing I will say is fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
And water, obviously. But anyway, I mean, I could go on forever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the pros are... That's a lot of pros. You can't deny it. No, I want to end on this one.
Indigestion. Like, if you're having problems going to the bathroom.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's effective. The most recent study that came out that everyone has been talking about for weeks, it's on this topic.
Oh, just wait. I want to say one more thing.
One more pro?
One more pro. And I know I go into my spirituality a lot on here, and I'm sorry, it's just who I am. One thing I have to say about being vegan or vegetarian for me that I was very surprised with is it made my belief system and what I, wanted to be, aspired to be spiritually, aligned with who I actually was. And the inner peace that gave me, knowing that every day I'm making choices for a better environment. Every day I'm nourishing my body. Every day I'm, protecting animals. Every day I'm, giving love to the world. Like, it's a very powerful spiritual thing to give up consuming animals. And
it is, and you don't notice it till you get in it.
You don't. And the alignment that gave me spiritually, it gave me a level of freedom that I can't really articulate. Like a weight was lifted. Like I felt like, oh, I am what I want to be. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But anyway, that's the last thing, and that's a heavy, heavy one, and it's a lot of freedom in that. So. Oh
yeah, for sure. And I'm glad we ended this section on a light note, because the final portion of the show is quite dark. Young people are getting colon cancer more often.
You told me that.
And why the heck is this happening? And it's significant too. Like a lot more often. We in Canada here, we start doing colon checks usually at 50, but people under the age of 50 are getting colon cancer a lot more frequently. So people are speculating, why the heck is this happening?
Okay. Of course, I have my ideas.
We know about obesity being a major cause.
I mean, the genuine love of processed meats like bacon.
Yeah. So there's people are speculating about processed meats in a serious way.
Yeah.
In our culture, we consume a ton of bacon. We consume a ton of packaged sandwich meats.
Yeah.
This is what I grew up on. This is, and so many families, it's still in place, even though we know it's absolutely terrible for your colon.
Well, and I mean, a lot of people our age are so busy.
Yeah.
Like, we all have
to... You have to hustle.
Like,
this is the thing.
This generation, like, with student loans and just trying to make, a decent living and
people
have a good lifestyle.
Hard,
Everybody I know is, like, either they're doing nothing and not whatever, or they're working their asses off. And with that, people are like, well, one thing that's going to slide off is my nutrition.
Yeah.
So they just go get fast food.
And also, in saying that, I mean, we can't ignore the fact that people might be a bit more stressed.
100%. I said that right away to you. I think that, like, our generation, it's so stressful. It's not the same dream that it used to be. Like, when our parents, if you just get a good job and you can have a house and a car and you can go, away every year with your family and have a nice little savings account.
Exactly. That was all expected. And it was given. Not necessarily given. People worked hard for it.
No, they worked for it.
But it was a guarantee. Attainable, and they were going to make it.
That's not a guarantee anymore.
No, absolutely not. You can work insane hard and never have those things.
Never.
No.
And you can make, not only that, like, you can make a lot of money and never have those things.
Absolutely.
Because it costs so much now.
That's right. So there's stress on that side of things. So we've got processed meat, we've got stress, we've got obesity. Red meat, we should throw in that category of processed meat, because we know it's terrible for the colon as well. So a lot of people speculating, but the good news is eating a healthy, clean, vegetarian or vegan diet is potent anti-colon cancer. I mean, so it sort of ties in. Not only is it good for obesity and, cardiovascular and diabetes prevention, but in terms of the prevention of what so many millennials are going through now, in terms of the rate being so much higher than their parents.
So scary.
We have to revert back to not only exercise. If exercise is your focus for your overall health, you're missing 80 to 90% of the picture. It's literally what you put in your mouth.
Yep. Exercise
is important, don't get me wrong, but it's nowhere near the same level as important as what you're putting in your mouth. That's my rant.
Yep.
Anyhow, anything else?
No, I think...
Good. That's Healthy Rebel Radio for today. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed our show, please subscribe on iTunes and leave us a review. Have a great day.
See you.
Healthy Rebel Radio is presented by the online health and wellness center, DamiHealth.com. Since 2009, Amy Layne has successfully coached thousands of women through her signature program, the Bikini Body Program. Join today to work exclusively with Amy to unveil your greatest yet to be from the inside out. Go to DamiHealth.com for more information.
Thank you for listening to Healthy Rebel Radio. Please connect with us on our community pages on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at the handle @DamiHealth. For weekly recipes, articles, and all our episodes straight to your inbox, join our newsletter at damihealth.com. You can find all the links discussed in today's episode in the show notes. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow.